as long as I've got you. I'm not letting it fade. Don't go looking for reasons, asking for change. We got good things coming. Put your faith in me, so keep on going. We got good things coming our way. Waiting on the day when we got nothing to say, when there's no one to blame. I'm not letting it fade.
Hey folks, welcome to our next exit. Well, I thought we were done with our Lazy Days videos, but we kind of finished it off last time in the monthly financial, and I pretty much covered everything, but I've got a number of emails from folks wanting to know exactly how it ended up and what was the final fix to get everything working. And I thought we'd do one little quick 5 or 10 minute video and walk through the finale. There is some good stuff and there is some not so good stuff in here. I think to start with, the mainest thing is, I'm not even going to talk about the price too much. The final price was $9,905.29, which is really less than I thought it was going to be. Lazy Days, there's no doubt, is a big RV repair facility, and they're one of probably the most expensive. And I knew that going in. I agreed to all the prices they quoted me. They didn't change any prices on me, so I'm quite happy and content with the price. But I'm not happy with, I didn't get what I paid for. I paid for the top of the line job, and that's not what I got. So to kind of walk through what happened, we finally just had enough. We told Ron, our service advisor, that we wanted to leave in the next 2 or 3 days to wrap everything up, and we were going to go. So he thought he could get everything done. When Wednesday came, we loaded up and headed out, and felt that most everything was done, and we were just going to wipe our hands of it. We was going to grease it ourselves. If need be, we would reseal the roof. I was going to fix the exhaust clamp, and I was pretty sure the hydraulic filters had not been changed. I was going to change those, and the slides, we never did. They seemed to be working better for a couple of days there, so I thought maybe we was okay just by getting it level. I was going to order a new touchpad for the leveling system, and I wasn't happy with the job they did, but I was content to walk away with it as it was, and I could finish up the rest. And then we made a couple of videos, and then a gentleman named Steve, one of the service managers, I'm not sure his position, he called, and he had most everybody that was involved in his office called and talked to me and expressed his concern that they were very embarrassed, that they're not used to doing jobs like this, and this is a real disappointment to them, and they want to make it right. And I told him I appreciated the call, but I had no interest in coming back to Lazy Days. I was not going to get back in their system and go through all that again. And he said, no, stop, I'll send somebody to you, let us fix this, period. And I said that if you will send somebody to me, we're at Orlando, 50 miles away, then I would think he did the right thing. So we agreed to a time. That was like a Thursday. He said he'll have somebody there on Sunday. He sent a company called RV Care that is not associated with Lazy Days at all. It's a totally independent company, just somebody that they use. and Felix and Hector from RV Care showed up at 10 o'clock, ready to fix everything. And they wanted to take their own pictures to document what was and was not done for Lazydays to, because they were quite shocked that it wasn't greased, and they still was adamant that the hydraulic filters had been changed and the roof had been sealed right. So Felix and Hector from RV Care showed up Sunday at 10 o'clock, exactly when they were supposed to be here. Showed up in a nice shiny van. They had lots of tools, and they had lots of knowledge and experience. I was pretty comfortable right off the bat. I asked them if I could film them, and they didn't want me to be filming them a whole lot or talking to them while this working. They just wanted to get there and get the job done. And they didn't know who I was, and they knew I was an unhappy customer. So one of the first things they did is they got underneath the coach. They confirmed it hadn't been greased, and Hector greased all the certs, front and back, top to bottom. I showed them the exhaust clamp that we was talking about and how it wasn't put back where it should go, and it had the old bolts. They had brought a new clamp with them that Lazydays had sent, and this is it, just a worm gear clamp. Felix said he was pretty sure that wasn't the right clamp, but Lazydays told him that that was what we needed. So that was just a joke. That made me a little concerned right off the bat. Felix got up on the roof and he inspected the roof, and he was pretty comfortable that the roof reseal was adequate. He said it's not the best job he's ever seen, but it was a good job. He thought it would be more than adequate. He got down off the roof, explained it to me. So I said, well, let me think about it. He said at the same time, let's look at your hydraulic filters. We looked at the hydraulic canister, and he could tell from the grease and stuff on there. He took some pictures of that, and he said, these filters haven't been changed. He said, Lazydays was pretty sure that it had been, but he said, I can tell that it hasn't been. So we'll get you some new filters. Then I said, let's go on the roof and you show me why you think this is a good job. We spent about 5 or 10 minutes up there, and he was pretty convincing. And so I agreed with him that that was adequate. So then we went in to look at the slides. We brought them in and out. He saw where it was popping, not every time, but occasionally. And I had found a thing on the internet where it showed that the top slide on the driver's side, that the ends were catching underneath the opening, and so when you went to bring it in, it was binding and then popping free. Felix saw that. He wasn't totally sure that was it. He got underneath, he checked the motor, he checked the gears. While he was checking the gears, one of the gear assemblies on the slide snapped and just broke. So we had to crank it all the way out so we could live in it. He said he would have Lazydays order a new one. He checked the voltage and saw that there was a couple of volts dropped from the circuit board, and another couple of volts dropped there at the motor whenever it was engaged. So he was going to get a new circuit board. He said he would have Lazydays order a new circuit board. And while we're doing it, here's the shaft, and it just sheared off that shaft on the left side there. And so he had Lazydays get a new gear assembly. So Lazydays headed back on Sunday. Hector and Felix headed back on Sunday to Tampa, and Monday was President's Day, and Tuesday they ordered the parts, got them overnighted. Wednesday they came in. Hector and Felix came back. The circuit board that they brought back is totally different. It has 6 wires coming out of this little module that says it's for a different slide system, but my circuit board has got 12 wires coming out of it. Felix said he could make that circuit board work, but I was totally uncomfortable with that. I did not want to cut into there, and no telling where that would go. Plus I was leaving the next day. So I said, let's leave the circuit board alone. And Felix agreed. He said that's probably the best idea. So another fail for Lazydays. He brought the gear assembly out, and the gear is 50% bigger than the one that's supposed to be on there. Totally wrong gear. The shaft is way too long. So we took the old gear, we chopped it up, tried to take the busted gear and put the new shaft in with my old shaft to make a new one. but it just wouldn't work. Luckily, I had a used gear from a couple of years ago that I carry around, and we was able to use it. They did bring the right hydraulic filters, so he got those changed out. You can tell they're stuck together. They've been in there for, it's been over a year since I changed them last, and so definitely, no matter who swears that they did change those filters at Lazydays, it wasn't done. He did bring the new Pomoto valve, but at Lazydays told them not to install it. They didn't want to accept any liability for if it got tripped or something. So I've got the new valve, and I'll put it in next time I change oil. And then that's the used gear that I had, and we took it and put it in where the broken was. Felix got up there and looked. As we moved the slide in and out, he could see where it was maybe binding up on those top corners like I'd mentioned on the webpage I found. So he got a saw, cut off the corners about 2 inches, the last 2 inches at an angle on both sides. And then he went to Lowe's and bought a plate to put on each side, so make sure that the slide couldn't go out too far when it was retracting. And that's exactly the way it felt like for the last 6 months when it would pop, that it was just getting hung up in that opening. And after Felix saw everything, he pretty much agreed, and then we found that thing on IRV2, once again it's IRV2 that found it. And we got all that done. The slide goes in and out just fine. It still goes a little slow, and that's from that voltage drop. We did not need that new slide motor. That's exactly how the old motor did. Lazydays said they agree and I shouldn't have to pay for that. Later on, when I was talking to Ron after it was all over, he said, well, you got a credit coming back for that motor and stuff, but we ordered the gears. This is before we knew that they ordered all the wrong parts. We ordered you a new gear motor and a new computer board, and at the time he thought hydraulic filters. How about we just call everything even on, you don't pay for anything of the parts that are new and separate from what I paid for when I was there. And I said, that's fine. I'm not concerned about the price. Let's call it even on everything. Unfortunately, most of the parts they bought had to go back. But they got it greased, the roof was okay. Oh, the exhaust clamps were here's the exhaust clamps they got, and they're way flimsier. I don't think they'll even go around. They sent 2 just in case they weren't big enough. So I told Hector, forget about the exhaust clamp. If it goes, have them order me a new one and send it to me in Miami. And I gave them the address. If they send it, great. I don't really expect it to show up, or if it does, it probably won't be the right one. But supposedly they're going to send me an exhaust clamp. But I'll worry, if they don't, I'll worry about getting the correct exhaust clamp myself. The slides are fixed. The leveling system is fixed. That leveling system, the touchpad, cost $503. They quoted me a price at Lazydays $675 plus $80 for overnight shipping and tax. So that's probably $700, almost closer to $800. They got to have a markup, I understand that, but I told them no, I'd get my own touchpad, and I did, and that worked out great. So the bottom line, the price is fine. We agreed to the price. I got no squawks on the price. The job is not satisfactory on several parts of what I paid for, and the biggest problem is parts. Lazydays, more times than not, either put the wrong part on or ordered the wrong part. That's the most disappointing thing. But I give them great kudos in hiring an outside independent RV repair service that came on their own. Felix said they worked for Camping World, for RV General or something like that, and then for Lazydays, 3 or 4 big companies that half their business comes from doing service calls for those guys. I want to thank Felix and Hector. They did a heck of a job, and as you can see, they let me get involved with the whole process. That's how you want to be whenever somebody's working on your $100,000+ motorhome. You want to know what's going on and not just put it in a shop and people work and you don't even know what they did. So I give those guys great kudos. If you're in the Orlando, Tampa area, their phone number is, you can see it on the side of the car. I'd certainly recommend them any time. And in a nutshell, that's where we're at. We're in Miami Everglades. This is March the 3rd. March the 4th, we head down to the Keys for 7 days. And our friends from Nevada, Brian and Con, they've been calling us a couple times a day. They left Winnemucca, Nevada, 3,500 miles away. They left there Friday morning. This is Sunday. They're already in Louisiana. They expect to be in Tallahassee tonight, and then tomorrow, the 4th, that'll be Monday, they expect to be down in the Keys. 4 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days, and they're going almost 3,500 miles. That's 800 or 900 miles a day. And they sound great. They stopped at, they're pulling a trailer, but they don't have any water in it. They're hauling it dry because of weight. They stopped at the Flying J and took their showers there in the truck stop showers. They're excited. They're having fun. This is their first RV trip, and we can hardly wait. So just about 24 hours from now, we'll be in the Keys with Brian and Con, and hopefully we'll get some great videos and have a great time and be able to share it with you guys. Thanks so much to everybody that's kind of followed along and checked in with us. You gave us a lot of encouragement, a lot of good words. We really appreciate all the kind words you said, and we appreciate you guys following along in our adventure. Getting to know you guys, as we enjoy that every bit as much, if not more, than all these nice places that we get to go to around the country. So until we see you, we'll see you again down at the Keys, but until then, keep the wheels rolling, stay safe. We'll see you at the next exit. Bye-bye, folks.